Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? Welcome. You already know, y'all. This is Sunday Set Trip. It's Sunday. You rocking with the host of the One Successful Failure podcast, ThatDamn Trip on all social medias, and you are on the set of the One Successful Failure podcast. That's why it's Sunday Set. And I am Trip, and thank you for being here. Welcome, welcome, welcome in. And I know y'all be like, damn, Trip, if we here, we know who you are. But there's some people, shout out to you, that may have come across this broadcast. They might have saw the titles. They might have saw Charlie Kirk in this thing. You know what I'm saying? New York Fashion Week might have hit their page. You know, all the things that I'm going to be discussing today because it's Sunday Set Trip. I can talk about politics and all those things. But you might have come across this and have no idea who I am. You might have just saw this and said, let me see what the fuck she's talking about and what Charlie Kirk means to her and what New York Fashion Week and how all those things relate. But shout out to you for being here. And, you know, I always get started with sending great shout outs. Shout out to my day oneers, man. Shout out to you. If you're here and you've been rocking with us since the beginning of the One Successful Failure podcast and the beginning of Sunday Set Trip, drop a 1 in the chat. Y'all know I'm always in the chat, man. Y'all know I always got something to say in the comments. I respond to all of you. But if you're a day twoer, if you found us on season 2 or maybe episode 2, or if you didn't find us till Sunday Set Trip or the new set 2, if this is where you found me and this is where you stumbled upon me, man, shout out to you. Thank you for being here. Round of applause to you, man. But drop a 2 in the chat. That way I know how to greet you. I'll be like, shout out my day tours. Thank you for you all who have found me however you have found me. And I always like to send a special shout out, man. Shout out to my motherfucking replayers, boy. These are the people who've watched it more than once. These are the people who have saw some form of value and said, hey, man, one of my friends needs to send this. And they sent the link out to you, and you're probably a replayer. You didn't catch this live. You're catching this some other time. It may be 2-3 years from now, and you're jumping on trying to go back through the archives and find everything about me since we've advanced and become bigger and better. You might say, let me go back to the beginning and see what she was talking about. Shout out to you. It doesn't matter when you catch the replay, but obviously, somehow, some way, I came across you. You saw value in this. You saw value in the topics or whatever, man. A friend said, hey, check this out. This nigga crazy. You got to see what she's talking about. And however it is that you came across us, shout out to my motherfucking replayers, man. It wouldn't be me without you. You wouldn't be here. It wouldn't be us. So thank you all. Day 1, day 2. Replayers, drop it in the comments, man. Stay in them goddamn comments because I'm always going to be there. And speaking of comments, I don't know, man. I don't even know, like, what we can and can't comment on nowadays. Like, blacks and gays, we here now. Blacks and gays always have to censor ourselves. And you see I'm sweating. I don't know if y'all can see it. I'm sweating hard. Part of it is because I'm getting back on my routine. I'm back on the water. I'm back on the wave. I'm back on the working out. I'm back on the working out on the regular. And so my body is just hot. I took a great workout this morning. Shout out to my homegirl, Little Bit Chloe, that went with me today. And, you know, my body is still hot and the calories are still burning. So some of that is that. That's what we're going to say. But some of that is me being hot in the motherfucker that we even have to address this topic about Charlie Kirk and honoring and voting in the Senate and these motherfuckers. I'm hot because I don't even understand how in 2025 with the internet, with all that we fought through with music, with politics, with let's take it all the way back to the Civil Rights Acts, 1960s. Let's take it back to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. being assassinated for the things he believed. Just a speech, just a dream. But we're still fighting right now for him to have a day and for his vision to still be a part of what we're working towards as African Americans. Let's take it to Malcolm X. I don't even know where to start with that. I don't want to say his own people took him out. I don't want to say the government took him out. But I will say, somehow, some way, people didn't like what he was saying, how he was saying it. They called him a racist. They called him a nigger lover. They called him a Jew hater, a white hater. They called him so many things. We had to fight for years, and we're still fighting to this day. I don't even think there is a Malcolm X Day. This is where I'm going with this. We still have to fight to honor him in history books, the same history books that the people in Florida are trying to take out and say doesn't even exist. Or if we stop talking about it, it'll go away. Well, this is where I'm going with this. How is it that the Senate, the House of Representatives, the state, the people that we supposedly voted for have taken our words, our freedoms, and our liberties and totally twisted it and have forced us as American people, black people, gay people, young people, internet people, extremists, conservatives? How can you tell us separation of church and state, separation of voice and facts? How is it that you can tell us who and who not we as individuals or as a people or as a country should take the time, take the not so free but very cheap black or blue ink that we pay for and write or even scribe or even speak the words that we should be honoring a man who spewed nothing but hate? Listen, I don't try to get into politics. This nigga wasn't a politician. This man was a social media influencer. The same as what quite a few of you all I try to aspire to be. I don't really try to be a social media influencer. I just do my best to put my opinions out, study, read, be a free person of color and a nigga that knows how the gazentas. I just try to be someone who's halfway educated on a lot of different subjects. And if I can influence you to see things a different way, if I can influence you to see things a better way, fuck, if I can just influence you to see things my way, then I've done my job. That's the influencer I'm trying to be. I'm just trying to influence people to do better, know better. If you know better, you do better. If you knew better, you would do better. And I'm just trying to influence people to, man, think. Stop and fucking focus. And if we stop and fucking focus and think, how is it that people can spew hate against gays and Muslims and Jews and still we find a way as an American people to put it in our, not religious freedoms, political freedoms, that we have to stop what we're doing on October 14th of 2025, I guess. I don't even know if it's going to be a national day throughout the year or if it's this 1 year moment of silence. That's how much I haven't paid attention because I don't give a fuck. Excuse me for seeming, what do y'all call me? What are some of us portrayed as angry black women or passionate? I'm not really passionate. I'm really angry. I don't have children. In some ways, I wasn't blessed to be able to have them. In some ways, I was blessed to not be able to have them. Because I'm not sure that if I had children, that I would allow my children to go to school on that day. I wouldn't force my children to honor someone, to bow down at the feet, to give respect to someone who has outright disrespected their mothers, their fathers, their friends, their brothers, their cousins, their coworkers, their classmates, whatever it is to my children. I really pray that my brothers and sisters, brothers-in-law, sisters-in-law, grandmamas-in-laws, whoever keeps my nieces and nephews, I really pray that those individuals are smart enough, have enough sense, enough thought process to say, we got some PTO for the kids, kids time off, KTO. Let's fake the flu or something. Whatever we got to do to not have our kids going to school on another day. Not because we don't want to support Charlie Kirk. I don't know if he should be supported or not. But I would hope that my brothers and sisters, brothers-in-law, sisters-in-law, brothers, babies, mamas, sisters, babies, daddies, whoever keeps, like I said, whoever is able to make decisions for my nieces and nephews and my godchildren and my loved ones, I would really hope that they keep them from going to school, because we should not be forced to honor or respect or even go along with something that goes against everything that we stand for as people. And yeah, my nieces and nephews are under 18. I got a few that are over 18, but they're little people. We are sculpting and molding little people. And if we're going to break them down right now already and say, hey, what you think doesn't even fucking matter because this man, according to somebody, means something to somebody, who gives a shit that he doesn't mean anything to you? You respect him. You bow down to him. You stop what you're doing and you be quiet. Because he's earned that. But where? But how? Where are the facts? Where are the stats that we are supposed to show these children that are going to look back at this? These adults that whose rights have been just trampled over? Where are the ones who, the stupid Muslims and the dumb gays and the poor Jews that he spoke of? Where are those people? Where are their sorries and apologies? Where is the moment of silence for those? I think we should stop, pause. That's the moment of silence. Say, hey, you know what? We apologize for what we as an American people pushed to you all through this motherfucking influencer. We're sorry that we stood behind the hate and the filth and the negativity and the misogyny and the racism and all the other isms that this man stood for. We're sorry that we spread it, not like fake news, like real news. We're sorry that we put this out there and forced you to digest this. And now we're not encouraging other people to kill this man. No, we're not encouraging other people to kill men like him or women like him. Everybody should have the right to say what they want to say. At the same time, we should have the right to not listen to it, not hear it. And we shouldn't have to motherfucking honor it. I don't feel like this is an honor. I don't feel like this is something as Americans, as even just individuals, as humans, we should be forced to do. And I know you're saying, listen, Trip, nobody's forcing you to stop and take this moment of silence. Nobody's forcing you to honor it, but you are. You are. If you're rewriting history, if you're putting this out there, if you're allowing people to repeat the same things that Charlie Kirk did or put out in hopes that maybe, just maybe, they would leave a legacy and come behind the day of remembrance, then we might as well honor Hitler. How is he any different? I mean, he was an amazing leader. He was able to spew just as much hate and misogyny and genocide thoughts as Charlie Kirk was, but he was just able to spew it better and lead an entire nation into death. I think if Charlie Kirk was given more time, if he was given more backing, more moment of silences, more support, I think he would have had more influence than maybe even Hitler. I know you might say that's not a fair comparison, but what the fuck is fair? I don't think right now the climate of America is fair. I don't think there's anything fair about what is going on in the United States when it comes to people, religion, freedom of speech, freedom of culture, freedom of love, freedom of sex. I am still asking for permission to sleep with bitches. How is this man not asking for permission to put out ideas and rhetoric and hate that could ultimately end someone's life, maybe even his own? If we want to honor him as a hero, okay, he was a hero of his own life. He was an absolute example of his own words. And we should, I guess, commend him for that. He did lead by example. If guns are put in the hands of ignorant individuals, innocent people die. Was he innocent? Yes. Did he do anything besides spread his opinion and his thoughts and his views loudly? No. A lot of people can say, did he hurt anybody? A lot of people can say no. But if his lies and his hatred and his misogyny and his rhetoric weren't spread for the intention of evil, why isn't he still here to defend it? Someone took his words to heart, but they took them to heart about him. Anyone who goes against the thoughts that they may have, the same as him, deserves whatever comes to him. I'm not saying that. He said that. So maybe we should honor this man for leading by example, for even living or dying up to his words. Maybe the Senate is right. Maybe we should honor this man, not because of his freedom of speech and because of him dying, but because he lived by example. Ignorance with guns die. Ignorant people who spread hate and spew lies and rhetoric and go to assassinate a whole nation of people are not safe. And you can't live a life of chaos and hate and misogyny and narcissism and racism and fascism and all the other things and think that you will not live with a target on your back. If you have a passion, if you have a cause, I guess he is absolutely correct and definitely should be honored when we say, live and die for your cause, motherfucker, because he did. What's Drake say? I made a decision last night that I would die for it. Just to show the world what it takes to be alive for it. Well, Charlie Kirk, you did that. Turn the 6 upside down to a 9 now, motherfucker, because that's all we can say about you. Thank you for being someone who decided to live and also die by example. And I know a lot of y'all are probably thinking, man, like, God damn, Trip, you have no remorse or empathy, no sympathy. No, I don't, because this past weekend, I went to New York City, New York Fashion Week. It's, they have 2 a year. February shows off what's going to be in the fall and the winter of the year, and September shows what's going to be in the spring, summer of the next coming year. So we were at New York Fashion Week, spring, summer, next coming year. Shout out to Cancer Culture and Ono. Many of you who've been around with me, even before the pod, even before Sunday Set Trip, you know that I'm a cancer survivor, and every year that I've been able to be selected, I've gone to New York Fashion Week, and I've participated in the Anna Ono Cancer Culture or Cancerland Fashion Show, where we raise money for stage 4 breast cancer. We raise money for the cause, the research. We raise money for the individuals, but we took a slight shift this year. And one of my founders of Cancer Culture and friends, I'm honored to say a friend, her name is Beth Love, Beth Fairchild, you may know her as, but she had told me back in a wild trip, we're going to represent for the misfits. This is why I want you in this organization. We're going to represent for the people who, like, I guess you could say, like the Charlie Kirks of the Cancer Culture. We might say things that people don't agree with, but we don't say things in order to harm people. It's quite the opposite. We are saying the ugly things that people don't want to hear in order to save fucking lives. My friends are dying. And it doesn't matter how much truth we say. It doesn't matter how much rhetoric we spill. It doesn't matter how many lies and stats we change. The truth is, stage 4 cancer, stage 2, stage 3, stage 1, pre-vivors, all of that. My fucking people are dying for something that there's no cure for. And if we're going to be angry, if we're going to give a moment of silence, then I think we should give 116 moments a day of silence. Because that's how many people we lose a day from cancer, stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. And so this year, we decided to go and change it up. Beth had a vision of shutting down New York Fashion Week, but her vision was not really shutting it down, not Fashion Week, but Times Square, but not really shutting it down. She had a vision of doing our runway and bringing our models. And one thing about our models is they're naked, and they show the scars that some of us have to endure with to live. They show the limps. They show the burns, the bruises that cancer patients go through. They show the ugly part of cancer that most of you all don't get to see. We do that. We expose our bodies and our minds and our mental health and our physical health. A lot of them are stage 4 individuals. They really expose themselves to being unhealthy one time a year just to be at this show, to show individuals, hey, we're here. We are actually living and dying, not only for a cause, but for a cure. Where's our 116 minutes a day? Where's our one day of the month nationally? Where's the day that says stage 4 deserves more? But yet we honor someone who divides in order to conquer. We came through this year, New York Fashion Week, Times Square, and man, we shut it down. It was a beautiful, ugly thing. We didn't ask people to give us a moment of silence to remember. We're really telling people we don't want any more moments of silence to remember. We're tired of motherfucking remembering. We've done this fashion show for maybe 7 years now, 8 years. We've had over 200 models. Probably 50% of the 200 models, at least 40% of the 200 models are dead. These are individuals that are living and dying for a cause. These are the individuals that should be honored. These are individuals that Senate should be voting on instead of cutting our funds. 47, you should be having Senate in and saying, what the fuck can we do to stop these individuals from dying? Not one, not honoring one, honor 116 every single day. So we took the opportunity this year during New York Fashion Week, Cancer Culture, and Ono, and we honored it. We went to New York Fashion Week. We went to Times Square, and it was probably 200-300 of us. We got naked. We got vulnerable. We got desperate, and we showed Times Square, New York City, New York Fashion Week, New York Post, Getty's, whoever the fuck had a new in it. New World Order, the new Senate, the old Senate, the new school, the old school. We showed everybody what it is to be living and dying with this disease and how this is not fair and how we need honoring and how we need the moments of silence. But after the moments of silence and the honoring and the remembering, we need the motherfucking money to keep from having those moments of silence and those remembrances and those national days. Stage 4 needs more. My friends are dying. My family members are dying. Yet we are meeting in special sessions in Senate to honor someone who encouraged people dying, who said, well, if some have to fall by the wayside, so be it, who talked about stupid Muslims. Well, I'm proud to say this weekend I walked New York Fashion Week in Times Square with those same Muslims that you spoke of as stupid, that he spoke of as stupid. I walked with those same Jews and gays. I walked with those same conservatives and liberals. I walked with the same fascists and everything else that he talked about. I think there was a few trannies out there. I think there's been some of anybody out there. Everybody's affected and everybody can and will be touched by breast cancer or metastatic cancer. And instead of honoring one, please, let's honor 116. We protested for a cause, not for vanity. We protested for our friends and our family, for our neighbors, for our people that are dying, who don't have the help, who don't have the money, who don't have the funds. We weren't protesting for influence. We were hoping that our protest would influence one person to vote different, influence one person to say, hey, let me open my checkbook and give them some money for research. If these drugs stop, their lives stop. And this is where it gets crossed, because you want me to honor someone who disrespected my life, my friends' lives, and who encouraged people like me and them to die. Well, we're already dying. And you wonder why I can't have empathy or sympathy for someone who spewed hate when the people that I love are fighting for their lives. Literally. I don't know. It was just, I come home to find out that, these fund cuts and research cuts, they affect more than just stage 4. They affect everyone. My insurance is changing because of the current administration. The things that I need right now in order to survive and live are being cut, are being taken away. And for what? To use that money to buy this cheap ass ink to write in a bill to honor a racist? It's just baffling to me and to my friends and to those who have gone before us and to those that will go after us, that you're asking us to honor someone who encouraged death, and we're doing everything we can to skirt it. Skirt. I got it, Big Chloe. That's me. She's even pissed about it. You see what I'm saying? I got it, Big Chloe. That's me. The point is, I went and protested for a cause, and I went to New York, and it was different, and I felt different this time. I felt not powerful. I felt so vulnerable and so desperate that it could be nothing but power. After we went out there and we protested and we talked, and we didn't ask for moments of silence. We asked for people to get loud and tell people. We were willing to beg. We got in the middle of begging. With that marching, with the hugs of the Susans and the Jens and the Beths and the Danas and the breastless baddies and the Aishas and the everyone that I was able to get a chance to hug, and the Marians and the people that I met, with the Christopher Townsends who came out and took the photographs for us, the people who marched alongside us. Those are the people that I want to honor. Those are the people that we should be standing behind and help push to the forefront and say, these people are the ones. Let's take a moment of silence and hear what they have to say. Because obviously, whatever they're saying is out here changing lives. We begged in the middle of the street to live. And through that begging and through that camaraderie and through that marching and through that nakedness and exposure and vulnerability and freedom, I think I felt me finally. And I don't know how to explain it, but it was just me. It was nothing special, nothing different than me being loud and running around and hyped and encouraging other people and, shaking the haters off and doing something different. But somehow this one felt like pop, a rubber band popped and I was free. It's like I found my stride again. I've been, and you would never know. I mean, it's not like the type of dark place that would it's not like I'm walking like Pigpen, like Charlie Brown's character, and just a dark cloud following me, every fucking wearing flies and all that shit. No, but in the inside, that's kind of what it felt like. And you don't know how to shake those flies and that cloud and that funk and that filth. And I was doing things in order to shake it. I was trying different things. I was trying to be someone else. I was trying to be a different person, a new version of myself. But this weekend, when I was going and just begging, when I was just doing the things that I was used to, that I knew that would normally be traumas, that would normally be things that we would say not to do, when I was yelling and crying and asking, when I was hoping that just someone heard me, when I was over explaining and over communicating, somehow all the negative things, or the things that I felt was negative that I've been trying to stop doing, somehow doing those this weekend, just kind of like parted the clouds. And maybe I don't see things differently just as yet, but I just feel like there was a weight lifted off of me, and like a little bit more of my groove has been found. A little bit more of the beat has been caught. A little bit more of the old me is meshing with a little bit more of the new me. And in a minute, I'm not going to know the difference between the old and the me. It's just going to be me. And I felt it. I was able to be loud, and it was supported and not shunned. I was able to say the things that most people didn't want to hear, and I didn't feel like I had to walk on eggshells, whether it had to do with cancer, life, personal, vulnerable. I was able to just say fuck. Whatever came out. It was one of those times when I used to go to church or go to big speeches or go to spiritual things, and the person who was getting ready to talk would say, Lord, universe, God, Buddha, Allah, whoever they believe in today, was like, please be more of you and none of me. Let all of this come from you and none of me. And I used to think that was wild. But this past weekend during New York Fashion Week and the protests, and with all of those ladies and gentlemen and kids and bystanders and haters and supporters and lovers and survivors and thrivers and previvers, in the midst of all of that, I felt that groove. I felt that stride. And I remembered there's nothing that used to get me out of a funk or a bad mood or a loser's mentality or anything better than a good fucking fight. And for a while, I had been feeling like fighting was bad. And for a while, I had been exhausted from fighting. I was just fighting for the wrong thing. And now that I got that little feeling, that little stride, that little groove back, I think I found the fighter back in me. Not the new boxer, not the old boxer, not the new fighter. I think I found my fight back. And I believe it's just, I kind of lost my passion, my vision, my goals, my way. Again, I kind of lost me. I was trying to ditch the old and bring the new. And when you say old me and new me, I think a lot of us forget that the constant is me. You still have to be you. You still have to show up, and you still have to find out what it is that does it for you. And I think I've learned that it's nothing that does it better for me than a fight. It gets me back feeling necessary and needed. I think it's the little person syndrome, the black girl syndrome, the gay girl syndrome. All my life I've had to fight. You know, the color purple in me. But man, I think that's what makes my heart so big. I think that's what makes my love so big. I think that's what makes me so big, even in a little small package. And I think that's where my passion comes from. And I understand that maybe I say the wrong things. Maybe there's a little of Kirkism in me, but mine is never used to knock down someone else or to take out someone else. And I don't think we should honor anyone who should. Not when there's so many people who are still dying, who are only trying to honor themselves and their loved ones. I think we're giving influencers too much power in this world. I think that's coming from our leadership. I don't think we have a president right now. I think our world is being led by a social media influencer. And I think right now he's doing anything or allowing anything for clicks. Everything's fucking clickbait and control and narcissism and word twists and mind fucks. And when you're fighting for your life and fighting for your groove and your strive and fighting to get out of a depression and a funk, or fighting to just live from a terminal illness, or fighting to just get out of the depression because you've lost someone from this terminal disease or illness, we don't have the time for all that other foolishness that the government is trying to force us to honor. I think the only people that we should be honoring nationally or daily or whatever is ourselves if we're not going to honor everyone. I think it's shitty that we had to try to bring flags at half staff. I don't understand where the lines are getting crossed. And maybe, just maybe, somebody else will agree with me and say, you know what, Trip, this is fucking crazy. I don't know where this is coming from. Or maybe, just maybe, somebody's going to catch this and say, you know what, Trip, you're all the way wrong, and let me break it down to you. And you'll break it down to me in those goddamn comments, man. If you want to tell me what your thoughts are about Charlie Kirk, honoring him, not honoring him, dishonoring him, do you even know who he is, what the day is? Do you think did we as a people vote for this shit? Like, I know as black people, we don't get anything. So how, as black people, did we allow this to happen? Listen, black people, Jews, Muslims, all of you all, haters, lovers, conservatives, fascists, misogynists. I want gay lovers and haters. I want all of you. Meet me in these goddamn comments. And this is one of those serious ones. I literally click, double tap, click, whatever you got to do. Meet me in those goddamn comments, man. Meet me on the set. This is Trip. This is Sunday. We're relaxed. We get to talk our feelings. Meet me in the goddamn comments because I want to know, am I being too sensitive? Am I being crazy? Am I being non-American by saying this man doesn't deserve to be honored? I'm saying fuck him. If we're not going to honor everybody, if we're not going to honor them all, let's not honor one. If we're not going to honor all the bad people, let me not say bad people. If we're not going to honor all the fuck boys, let's not just honor one. If we're going to honor people who are living and dying for what they believe in, let's honor them all. And if that's the case, stage 4 needs more. And we need to honor my people and my friends and the people that are fighting the disease and stop cutting the fucking funds. We need the money for research. I want to hear from you in the comments, man. Have you lost anyone in stage 4? Do you fight for a cause? did you see anything about the protest that we did through New York Fashion Week? Are you supporting the Charlie Kirk remembrance or honoring? Have you finally gotten out of your funk and not all the way back to you, but starting to find your stride? And if so, how'd you do it, man? I want to hear from you. Meet me in those goddamn comments, man. These are one of those things that I really need to know, because I don't want to feel like someone who is just has my personal views clouding my worldly views. Not worldly as in, non-godly, non-spiritual, but I mean my views of the world. I want to know that we're doing good with our privileges. I want to know that freedom of speech is honored but not abused. I want to know that you have the right to say whatever it is you want to say, but when you infringe upon the rights and the safety of someone else, I want to know that as Americans or as a country or as the Constitution, that's not what we protect. We protect the people, not the passion or the influence. Man, meet me in the goddamn comments. I want to hear what you got to say. It's been a hell of a week. Good to see you back. This is Sunday Set Trip. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, man. I don't really like to say that, but it feeds the beast. It lets YouTube know that, hey, man, we like what they're doing over there on that page. It lets me know, Trip, listen, I like the conversation. I'm fucking with it. I'm rocking with you. It also lets me know if you share it, you could be just a hater. It's like, listen to what the fuck she talking about, man. She don't fucking know. And that's great, because you'll share it with someone else who disagrees with me, and they too can meet me in the goddamn comments, and we can talk about it. We can discuss it. We can debate it. But what I won't do is I won't argue. I won't defend my opinion. I shouldn't have to, and neither should you. We should have the freedom to say it, discuss it, debate it, and go on about our motherfucking way, man. Listen, it's the One Successful Failure podcast host and set. This is Sunday Set Trip. You're rocking with your girl Trip. Make sure and double tap. Make sure and like this. Make sure and share this. Shout out to my day one, day two. Shout out to my motherfucking replayers. Hey, man, y'all have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you back. We out this thing.